If you told me that the San Jose Sharks were going to be a team that defeated the Blues twice this season, I don't think I would believe you. But if you told me that the San Jose Sharks were the team that absolutely just killed the Blues' playoff chances, I would say that you're crazy. And now I can say that you're right because that's exactly what happened. And I'm going to talk more about it here on Locked on Blues.
You're Locked on Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked on Blues. I am your host of Locked on Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues. I want to start off by saying a quick thing. I love the Blues, and I will always love the Blues. I'm just very frustrated with the Blues because of everything that happened. But I just want to preference that before I begin today's episode because it might seem like Haley has some animosity towards the Blues. I'm just very frustrated with how some things have gone this season. So I just want to put that out there to begin with. So in today's episode, I will be talking about that embarrassing loss, and the playoffs are done. Previewing tonight's game. Yep. Simple, to the point, and it is what it is. But before I dive deeper into things, I just want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Sleeper. Download the Sleeper app and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL to get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing a little bit better than Saturday night because that was a rough one. I don't think I've ever been as defeated, figuratively, literally, any kind of way you want to take that, as I was Saturday night. I think getting swept by the San Jose Sharks, it sucks. 4-0. It just digs a little deeper. It hurts a little more, and it just was a little bit painful. Now, the Blues will face the Sharks one more time, but the Sharks already won the series against the Blues. So, because they won the 2 games already. So, yeah, fun. Woohoo. San Jose is the only team that was able to defeat the Blues like this. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. I don't think words can describe how humiliated I felt. Everything about that game was sloppy. Sloppy defense, sloppy offense, sloppy special teams. Everything was just bad. It was just a bad, bad game. And you cannot tell me for a quick second, oh, Haley, that game was good. It was not good. It was unacceptable. And that cannot happen at all. That cannot happen. If you seriously think for 1 second, oh, games like that happen. No. No. Mackenzie Blackwood, by the way, was in net for San Jose, making 35 saves. Oh, just, if you're making Mackenzie Blackwood look good, like, I'm just saying, like, there's an issue. And Joel Hofer was in net, which I told you he was going to be. Made 16 saves. But they still lost. They still lost. Captain Braden Shen said that's twice against them, Columbus and Chicago, and the good teams don't do that. Whoa, Braden Shen. Breaking news. Good teams don't lose to teams that play that bad. Oh my God. It was awful. This is basically a reaction video to Saturday because I'm going to be honest with you. Saturday when the Blues ended up losing, I went to Twitter at Locked On Blues and I was so upset. And all these Sharks fans came at me. We own the Blues. And to be honest, you do. You do. Like, it was just bad. It was, and listen, I can appreciate San Jose for the fact that, they're a team that's going to end up getting some really good draft picks for this upcoming draft again. And they're going to be, a contending team in the future. Listen, I don't know if there's any animosity for when we beat you in the playoffs with that hand pass, but evidently, I just think that a team that has struggled as much as San Jose should not be beating a team like the St. Louis Blues that were trying for a playoff spot. And that's the truth. I don't think that it's fair to knock a team down because of their record, because at the end of the day, any given team can win on any given night, right? That's like the rule in the NHL. That's what's always been known about the National Hockey League. I just think that personally, it's not good. It's really not good. And he also went on to saying, that's how you get into the playoffs. It's by beating those teams. We've just been shooting ourselves in the foot with tough losses like that. I mean, listen, he said it best. When you get beat by Chicago, Columbus, the Sharks twice, you're just not a good enough team to be in the playoffs. And that's the truth. Because teams that get into the playoffs, you think about the good teams. You think about the Canucks. You think about the Avalanche. You think about some of these really, and I know we beat the Avalanche and, Shenny had a hattie against them. And listen, I get it. But this late in the season, they knew that they had to be 8-2. And granted, it's one loss. Okay. Well, Vegas just got the third in the Pacific. It's not solidified, by the way, but that's what's been going on. And now the Kings are above us with 5 points. So, without getting too frustrated, I just want to continue talking about that game because, Bolduc didn't have a good game. And listen, the kid's young. He has a lot to work on, and I understand that. But it's still not good. Drew Bannister said, there's no excuses to be made. Right. We just have to be better. We started the way we wanted to start. We have to be able to follow that up and have momentum going into the second. There's no excuses at all for what happened in the second and how we fell asleep. But it wasn't just the second, Coach Bannister. It wasn't. It wasn't just the second. It was the whole game. Even that first period, despite there being no goals scored, it was a sloppy first period. We outshot, by the way, the Sharks 35-20. Are you kidding me? We lost to a team that just won their 17th game. Oh my god, it's so bad. And I'm laughing because 2 of those wins were against us. So that means like 1/8 of San Jose's wins this year were against the St. Louis Blues. And there's still another game that they have left. So it's a little comical. It's a little frustrating. I still can't believe Mackenzie Blackwood actually had that good of a game. And it's not a diss on Blackwood. Like, he's just really struggled this season. And, I think too, and here's the other thing about this whole loss, I think that just really does it, is that Mackenzie Blackwood even stated, obviously the guys, they're battling hard and pushing, skating right to the end. And last night or the other day didn't really go our way. We played hard in the last 2 periods, but we didn't get the bounces we did. So it was nicely rewarded for that tonight. They had motivation. The Sharks had motivation to win that game because of how their season has been going. Because they weren't happy with the fact that, they feel like they've been playing better and they couldn't get those wins. So they came into this game motivated to win because they wanted to get a win under their belt after having a really rough stretch. The Blues should have had that same energy going into this game. If the Blues won, they would have been 3 points behind the LA Kings. And the playoff chances, guess what? They would have still been there. But now they dug themselves into a hole again. And that's been the story all season. So I'm going to talk about the playoff chances coming up. But That needed to be said. I was really angry on Saturday. I posted a short, by the way, on YouTube. And I feel like a lot of you private message me and were like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I am mad. But you know what doesn't make me mad? Sleeper. It's almost the end of the season, Blues fans. And right now, they disappoint me. Regardless of where we are in the current standings, I want to remind you that you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our number one choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey. Because of Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. And this is where players like, which player hasn't bothered me? You know what? We're just going to skip it. Just, you can have different players that will record more or less in their sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus, minus, and more in a given game. To win 100 times bet on sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Blues fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nailing your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. I'm frustrated. Clearly. I couldn't name a single player that I felt like actually played a good game. Let's go see what this comment says. There was no hustle in the second and third period. Pathetic and infuriating as a fan. They should be ashamed and at the very least end the season with some heart and show the fans something to cheer for. And well said, and thank you for commenting, B&H Kel. It bothers me a lot because I don't just do this podcast because I'm a hockey person. I do this podcast because I'm a fan. And when you're a fan of a team, when you're a fan that's passionate, obviously it's going to suck when you know that your chances of going to the playoffs are just kind of slipping away. Obviously it sucks. I don't think I need to speak for any of the fan base right now when I can say we're all upset. All of us. The season ticket holders, the out-of-state fans, the passionate Blues fans that are able to go to the Enterprise and see the boys in blue. Everybody is hurting. Everybody loves to wear that blue note and rep it. I know I do. I don't live in St. Louis, and I'm still wearing my blue note all the time and repping it because that's what it means to me. It means so much to me. I talk about the Blues every day, right? I talk to people about the Blues, and they're not Blues fans, and I'm like, oh, guess what the Blues did? Woo! And I'm always so happy because I'm so passionate about this team. I'm on Facebook groups where I get to meet people in my area that are Blues fans. I do this podcast where I get to talk to you because we're Blues fans. I am so disappointed because after that loss with Vegas, I was like, oh, this sucks. But I still had some hope because even though there was a 4.3% chance of the Blues making the playoffs, I was so delusional that I was like, well, you know what? They're not officially eliminated yet, so there's always hope. Because somehow I believe that the team that won that Stanley Cup those years ago could do the same thing now. Well, not win the Stanley Cup, but at least like make it to the playoffs and show some miracle. And now the Blues sit at 82 points. And if they were in the if they were in the Eastern Conference, they would be a wild card team. The West is competitive. What can I say? It is a competitive conference this season, without a doubt. But let's talk about it because the Blues are officially not eliminated from the playoffs. And you know, they basically are, right? And I'm laughing because it's when I'm telling you, like, we're gonna look at the percentages that St. Louis has, and you're gonna crack up. The Blues have a 2.2% chance of making the playoffs. And what's funny is even though Minnesota is behind the Blues, they have a 4.1% chance. So yeah, it's not looking good for St. Louis right now. So they're still technically in. I mean, they are in. It's not even a technicality. They are in with that 2.2% chance. So what needs to happen? Because I'm sick of being upset with this loss against the Sharks. I kind of want to forget about it, even though I know this offseason it's going to be brought up again. And I'm going to be like, oh my God. Like, I thought that Islanders loss was bad. This loss, ooh, this loss was brutal. Somebody said 1 out of 1 million. So you're telling me there's actually a chance? Yeah, a very slim chance, but there is a chance to say the least. So let's go look at and see what needs to be done. Because I think that for me right now, the one thing that's keeping me going is knowing that there is a small chance. Now listen, do I think the Blues are going to make the playoffs? No. But do I think I am delusional enough to say, hypothetically, what if? And then I would say yes. So if we're taking a look at the Western Conference, obviously the Blues are not going to be getting that third central spot as, well, the Jets are going to claim that. The Blues have 82 points while the LA Kings have 87 points. And by the way, the reason why you don't hear about the Golden Knights, it's because they ended up moving up actually into the Pacific, and they are the third team in the Pacific. So if you were curious as to why we're now focused on the LA Kings, that is why that happened. So let's go take a look at our friends over at LA as we hope that they lose to the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Yes, the Jets did not do us good when they were taking on those Vegas Golden Knights, which sucks. Absolutely sucks. But hopefully the Jets come through tonight for us. And then on Wednesday, they play the Kraken, and then they play the Sharks. And then they play the Canucks, the Ducks, the Flames, the Kings, the Wild, and the Blackhawks. So this is what needs to happen. I'm so delusional. They need to go on a 3-game losing streak. Do I think that's going to happen? No. And then the Blues need to go on a 3-game winning streak. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but like anything is possible. Right? I mean, if you look at the Blues' schedule, they have the Oilers tonight, then they have the Predators, and then they have the Sharks and Ducks. We're so done. We are so done. Oh my goodness. The Predators, I mean, I know they lost, but it's Justin's like beating to me everything I'm saying. Like I'm saying things that I had them in my notes, and Justin's like in the comments. I love that, honestly. See, that's how much he pays attention, and I love that. So thank you. The Blues are done. Because now I can't even look at a team like the San Jose Sharks and think that we can beat them. But they need to beat the LA Kings. So San Jose, like if there's one team you want to beat for us, it's the LA Kings. Okay? Okay. Nashville! Oh my God. We are not going to beat Nashville. This is so frustrating. I'm laughing because they could have, if they just beat the teams that they should have beat, they would not be in this situation. Oh my God. It sucks. Yes, it is what it is. Whew. Okay, well, I'm going to talk about tonight's game because they do have a game tonight, which, could go either way. Probably won't go our way. But I first want to let you know about my friends over at FanDuel. The sports calendar is loaded, and FanDuel's making it even more exciting to get in on the action because right now new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet on the tourney, MLB, NBA, NHL, and so much more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a big win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The Blues play tonight, by the way. As I just went on this whole rant about being frustrated with this team, they do play tonight, and I really hope they win. If they don't win, then I'm going to be devastated because they need this win so much, and Edmonton scares me. Edmonton really scares me. It's like superhero theme tonight, and that doesn't take away from the super pain I feel. So let's just talk about the projected lineups for tonight, and then we'll discuss some more things. Lines were a little bit shaky, and a face that I like is back in the lineup. So that first line, it's a little bit different tonight, okay? Centering it, it's Robert Thomas, and on the left wing, it is Brandon Saad, and then Jake Neighbors on the right wing. The second line, it is Pavel Buchnevich. Then it's Alexei Turchenko and Jordan Kyrou. On the third line, I said finally, but it's true. It's Braden Shen, Kevin Hayes on the left wing, finally, and Kasperi Kapanen. Then on that fourth line, Zach Dean centering on the left at Sammy Blais, and then Nathan Walker on the right. On defense tonight, you see Nick Leddy and Colton Parayko. Then you have Torrey Krug again, Justin Folk, Marcus Candela, and yes, he is back. It is Tyler Tucker. And then in net tonight, you have Jordan Binnington. I am happy that Tucker is back in the lineup. This is my banter essay. I think as a group, we have to play with a bit more edge. Putting Tucker and Scandy in the lineup gives us that. So we're looking for somebody on our back end to give us a little bit more pushback. I think Tux brings that. And certainly Scandy brings an edge to his game too. I really like this a lot, actually. One thing that Bannister said, and I'll say it in a second, is that he's actually taking accountability for this. Obviously, when you play as poorly as we did last game, you have to make changes. Changes to players coming in and out of the lineup, changes to the lines. But I think when you look at Edmonton, this isn't important for us to get down the middle, to have some strength. So I really like these lines quite a bit. The reason why I was laughing is about Kevin Hayes, and it's something to do with him as a center, and I've said this all along. I've watched Hayes play since he was a Ranger, and I understand that most of the time he is a center. I just think that he does so much better on the wing, and that's just my own personal opinion, and I feel like whenever he's played on the wing, I just see a more dominant Kevin Hayes. So I think that it's actually a benefit to this team. I think that these lines look really good. And I am just happy that Bannister made these changes. CJ says, hey, everyone, Rangers fans here. I was hoping you guys would make the playoffs because I love Bush and I miss that dude. He's a character and is underrated two-way player. Sammy Blais had a raw deal here in New York. And what's up, CJ? Always welcome to, cheer on the Blues. And listen, I was hoping they would make the playoffs too. There is still statistically hope, right? And it's cool if you think about it. Besides you having Bouch on this team and Blais, you also have Kevin Hayes that was a Ranger. So a lot of former Rangers players on the St. Louis Blues, which is kind of cool. So thanks for checking out this podcast, and I appreciate that. Justin says they play at home and they've been good at home. Listen, I'm going to have some hope for tonight. I think that the thing with the Blues and why I'm a little bit optimistic is because anything can happen. And after a loss like the way that they did against San Jose, I'm really hoping that this kind of motivates them a little bit. So Justin is saying, I guess this is about Kevin Hayes, Justin. He's slow. You have no defensive responsibilities that you can do on center. Now, Justin, I have to disagree with you. So I did see that this is my personal opinion on Kevin Hayes, and I do think that he is better as a winger. Now, on the wing, right, sure, you have to be more of a two-way player. But I think Kevin Hayes, and I'm trying to word this properly, right? He has a very good game offensively on the wing, and that's what I'm looking more out of. Yeah, he's not the best two-way player, and I'm not going to say that he is, but you can have your opinion on him. I'll have my opinion on him. But obviously, there's a reason why Coach Bannister made the decision that he made to put him on the wing tonight, and you just have to kind of go with that. And this is a cool step by Justin. Justin Scott, man, really big fan of this podcast. 7-2-1 in the last 10 at home. So, I mean, not in the last 2. Was that the last 2? No, that's not the last 2 at home, just in the last 10. My bad. Yeah, so, I mean, listen, the Blues are not playing awful hockey. They're not. It was a bad loss, and losses like that happen. Sure, is it frustrating? Absolutely. Am I frustrated? Yes. But at the end of the day, there is still a chance. And you know what? Until we're officially eliminated from the playoffs, I'm just going to believe, right? And I think that until they tell us we're not in it, I'm just going to keep on having fun and hoping that miracles happen. So let's go enjoy the game tonight. I love the Blues, and that's never going to change. And I am so proud to be a St. Louis Blues fan despite the losses. I'm still going to cheer on the Blues no matter what. So I will talk to you tomorrow, and let's go Blues.